Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Social Authority. I am Pat Hilton, joined by Mike Kitko. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing awesome, brother. We already jammed a little bit, and I'm already on fire. I think you are too.
You wake up on fires, and that's the beautiful thing about you. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about here today, is creating that fire around you too, because I think I felt really misunderstood by the world for a long time because I am this fiery type of go, build, create type. And that can be a huge turnoff for people. And I think that can make people feel discouraged. And you are someone that encourages people to, quite frankly, not give a fuck and to just do it anyway, because your time is limited, the clock is ticking, and you need to do certain things for you. And that's the only way that you're going to fulfill your potential in this world. So let's talk about Inner World, Outer World, the new book, Mike Kitko. It's coming. And I read this book, and there is a section called Shadow Work that's just straight up fire. And I do a lot of the things, not all the things, that he talks about in that chapter, but I never really had like a name for it. I just kind of, me time or whatever you want to call it. But shadow work. There's a lot of us entrepreneurs out there who do a lot of work when no one's looking. And that's the deepest possible work that we can do. And social media doesn't get to show that. But I think today we can dive a little bit into that. And so Mike Kitko is a leadership coach, a speaker, and just an innovator when it comes to allowing you to look outside the walls that you kind of put up in your head and start expanding. And that's why I think that chapter hit me so deep. You sent me the book. Thank you for sending me the book, by the way.
Thanks for
and
reading
I read
it,
the
man.
whole thing in 4 hours. It's a great read.
Yeah.
And that one section was literally what I was doing when you sent it to me. And so let's talk about, number one, how you came up with that one section, because I do kind of want to amplify that because that's what really hit me. Let's talk about what shadow work means to you and how people can apply it today to get results.
So Carl Jung was the guy who coined, Dr. Carl Jung was the guy who coined the word, the phrase shadow work, or shadow and shadow work. And deep inside of us is a lot of fucking pain. There's trauma, there's pain, there's suffering. You were in addiction. I was in addiction. There's darkness. There was abuse in my marriage. There was abuse in my family, just so much stuff. There was molestation when I was a child that had been, that hadn't been healed, hadn't been resolved, just kept pushing it down. Yep. Shadow work is getting as deep into yourself and your awareness as possible. Come to terms with that stuff and start the process of just allowing, accepting, and embracing that part of yourself as a powerful part. And when you've lived decades and decades and you've suppressed and you've repressed and you've pushed all this garbage down and you start to turn it into a superpower, then your darkness becomes your light and you become even more powerful. This is why you share your journey, right? Your journey of struggle to triumph. The journey of struggling, there was so much shadow in there, Pat. You were dealing with so many shadows, so much pain, so much trauma, so much garbage inside of you. The way you triumphed, the way you transcended, the way you came out of your addiction was to deal with all that garbage. This is what the 12 steps is about. But you can accelerate the journey just by freaking getting into your awareness and going in deep and saying, what's the fucking shit that I hate about myself? Let me turn that into gold. And when you turn that into gold, you start accepting it, your whole, everything in your life, your energy starts to go off the hook. And everything in your life, the dark turns to light, the light gets lighter. And that's why you bring so much to this world, is because you've dealt with shadows. And the more shadows we deal with, the more we have to give the world, the more value we add, and the more we don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks with us, because I've already dealt with my shit and you haven't.
Well, and the other thing about it is, I think that when someone sees something on the internet that really hacks them off, they see a success story like Taylor Swift, and for some reason it itches them, or they see Caitlin Clark hitting shots from the half-court line, and they say, you suck, or they see Oasis selling out a stadium, and they're like, those guys suck. Whatever the example is, or I don't know, the Savannah Bananas are stupid. No, they're not. It's just, you might not prefer certain things, and that's okay. You might not like vanilla ice cream, you like chocolate more. But it doesn't mean that all ice cream sucks, or that everything that's chocolate ice cream sucks. I think that we get so stuck in just wanting to not like shit that we hold ourselves back from accepting that we're not going to like everything, even about ourselves. But if we focus on the things that we're great at and the things that, we can amplify, that we can actually be way more successful, way happier, and have a way more positive outlook every single day. Because there's so much weight that you carry with your opinions and with your things that you don't like or that you're angry about or this or that. There's never going to be a perfect political climate. There's never going to be a perfect financial climate. There's never going to be a perfect whatever situation and environment day to day in anyone's life on this planet, no matter what. Everybody's going to have to deal with shit every day. And the sooner you deal with your own shit, the easier it is to deal with the other shit from the world. And that's why I think the inner world, outer world thing is so important, because there's so much stuff that comes at us every day. But if we got our inner shit figured out, then it's way easier for us to let that stuff pass, not get drug into it, not get distracted, cut the noise out, focus on this, improve, and be way more successful. You are not necessarily talking to average people. I personally don't think with this book. You are talking to the people that want to be the top 5%.
I think, people that just want to grow in their power and become the epitome of
that's
power,
my opinion.
Talking power.
Because
I get it.
Those are the people that you work with. It's clear in the book that those are the people you've been around for years. Let's talk about why.
I got something I want to talk about though.
Yeah,
real quick.
Let's go. Let's run it.
You threw out the word judgment.
Got it.
Let's connect with this concept, all right? Not just the concept of judgment, but where judgment comes from. If you take the top 5 people that you hate in this world, right, and you write down everything that you hate about them, and you take the top 5 people that you admire in the world, and you write down everything that you admire about them, those are the things you hate about yourself, and those are the things that you're capable of growing into. So when we have a judgment of someone, we're only seeing our reflection. We only see the world through our lens, through our experiences, through our beliefs. We don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we believe it is. We see the world as we are. So, and as we reshape the inner world, the world we see out here changes. Yep. I've been in a workshop. I did a workshop where I had a rock. It was just a freaking rock. It was an ugly ass rock. And now you'll figure out how weird that is. But I had 2 people, and one person left the room, and I gave him the rock. I said, "Describe this rock." And he said, "Man, that's beautiful. It's this is a piece of the cosmos. It's blah blah blah, and it's gorgeous and whatever. And it's a meaningful part of humanity." And he sat down, and the other person came in, and I gave the other guy a rock. I said, "Describe this." He goes, "It's just a fucking average rock. It's just it's got some dents and dings and whatever." They were describing themselves and what they thought about themselves. They weren't describing the rock. They were seeing the rock as they see themselves. One person says, "Yeah, it looks like an old rock," right? That means that they feel old. They are judging that rock through themselves. They are seeing themselves in that rock, and that's what judgment is about. If you really want to do some shadow work, walk through Walmart. When you walk through Walmart, it's a freaking spiritual minefield. That person's disgusting. That person stinks. That person's sloppy. That person's neglectful of themselves. And that's all the stuff that you hate about yourself. That's all you're seeing in the world. All your judgment, all those things that pop up, that's what you hate about yourself. Shadow work is getting in there and clearing that shit out. Right. So that you see a more beautiful world, you're more accepting, and you're more powerful in the world because you're not a judgmental asshole.
Yeah, and I think that as we try to accelerate and progress ourselves, it can become frustrating to be around people that don't want to improve. And I think that can take a toll on you, and you can sound a little bit like a grumpy old man sometimes. And while maybe some of the points that you make are accurate, this type of thinking of releasing and not allowing that to cloud your mindset, right, is healthy, because you can't control anybody at Walmart. You can't control what they eat. You can't control how they drive. You can't control what they smell like. You can't control what shoes or what clothes they should or should not be wearing in some instances. And it is what it is. Walk on by it and focus on your shit. And I think that's where, when I look at outer world versus inner world, like, I need to be so dialed in on where Pat's going that like that stuff, I don't even see it anymore. I'm like in my own little fucking Neo Matrix. It's all green and shit. I'm dodging bullets.
That's the point. That is exactly the point, Pat. As we clear this shit out, we don't have all this confusion and clutter. We don't have all this inner conflict taking up mind share. We're too busy focusing on our mission and our vision and where we're going. It's getting as much of a percentage of our mind share going in the same exact direction, getting as much of our body going in the same direction as our mind. When your mind and your body, your heart, when your mindset and your heart set are aligned and headed in the same direction, you're unbreakable and unbeatable. But if your mind's in one place and your heart's in another, you're going in two different directions. You don't stand a chance.
Well, and I think that, for someone like me who's purely essentially a musician or a writer or an artist at heart, I'm fortunate enough to have been able to use like my production skills that I learned along the way and create a business model out of that. That's beautiful. And I'm super grateful for that. But leaving the songwriting and the storytelling on a hard drive to die is unhealthy. And all that does is leave part of your heart to die. And so I encourage anybody out there who is like that. You want to start a podcast, or you want to play in a band, or you want to record your songs, you want to rap, you want to make clothing, you want to be a gardener. Mike is one of those people who's always going to be in your corner to say, hey man, get out there and freaking execute. Let's talk about that a little bit. Why is it important for people to pull the trigger on this stuff?
So we're either creating or destroying. At any given time, we're either creating or destroying. And that's look, you've battled alcohol. I've battled alcohol.
That's nasty shit.
The reason that you have those kind of battles is because there's not enough creativity in your life. Your time is being spent destroying. So there's a great book, man. It's called The War of Art. And I'm struggling to Stephen Pressfield, and he says, if you don't use your energy for creativity, you will use it for destruction. You get to pick which one you're using it for. The more you create in the world, the less time you have for destroying yourself. The more accretive stuff that's going to help the world, the more time you spend your life helping the world, the less you're hurting the world. So we have 24 hours of energy. What do we do with that energy? We can either be doing it to lift ourselves and lift other people up, or tearing something down, including ourselves.
Yep.
You were tearing yourself down. I've torn myself down. Now we've taken that energy that we used to use to tear ourselves down, and we turned it on the world. And let's bring our energy into the world instead of putting something in here and destroying what's in here. Let's harness this energy and bring it out. So it's up to us. Stephen Pressfield wrote another book called Nobody Wants to Read Your Shit. And in that book, he's basically saying, when you start writing your book, don't worry about who's going to read it. That's not why you're writing it. You're writing it because you're a creative and it's your job to create. And as you get better as a creative, somebody will buy your stuff. But write your book. Don't worry about nobody wants to read your shit. Just write it because it's inside of you and it's got to come out. And if you don't get it out, you're going to destroy yourself.
Wow, that's powerful. I think there's so many people right now who are stuck. I remember I'd play bar gigs at night, every night for years. You know that. And it, like you said, it took away from the time that I wanted to be spending with the same instrument, creating and doing whatever. And I was able to integrate some of that into what I was doing. But I mean, let's face the facts. I had to sing Wagon Wheel and Wonderwall to pay the rent, just like every other guy with an acoustic guitar. And God, that's why I think now I'm older and Oasis came back and I'm like, yeah, because dude, they made me a lot of money. God bless them. But I didn't want to sing that as much as I like the song. It's their song, not my song.
Yeah.
But I had to pay the rent, bro. And there's so many people out there doing something. Some other wagon wheel is in their life, whether it's working at CVS, working at the grocery store, and they've got this skill that they've been given, and they're unable to amplify it because time. How do we help those people?
If you have an hour, create for an hour. And that hour will eventually become 2. And if you can create for 2 hours, create, and those 2 hours will eventually become 3. But you got to start getting whatever's in your heart, you got to start getting it out. You have enough time. You have enough time. It's what are you doing with that time? Are you doing something harmful with the time? Or are you doing something creative with the time? Just we all have 24 hours in a day, and we all get to choose what we spend our 24 hours on. We say that like in the success world,
right.
And it's true. You've got people that are watching hours and hours of television that are saying I don't have time, or they're going to the bar and they're saying I don't have time, or they're doing something, a hobby that it's just a hobby, it's just for distraction, right. And they'll say I don't have time. It's not something that's useful where they can put it to work in service of the world so that they can eventually like monetize that creativity. You've done it. I've done it. Podcasts, books, blogs, all this stuff. There's just so much creative pressure in us. You agree, Pat?
Yeah,
there's
100%.
There's so much creative pressure.
I think people in the world are feeling that pressure right now. I've noticed it all across my feed. I can feel it, that the people who want to be creative and they're not, they're struggling right now. And I've noticed as well that, and I've been saying this for years, is that the people who put out consistent content, whether it gets a ton of views or not, are the people who eventually become the category experts, and the people that don't get it out don't have the reps and they can't keep up.
Yeah, no doubt. It's just from wherever you are, take the first step, right? And the first step will become the second. I mean, you helped me start posting videos.
You're great on camera.
I didn't understand the power of videos until you like chewed my ass. Like,
dude, why are you not talking on camera? What the fuck are you doing?
I remember when you chewed my ass and saying, "What are you doing? You got to get your voice out in the world." And it was like, I was like, all right, Dad. Like, it was a spanking, but I started doing it.
I mean, dude, you have to, and you have done it. And I think that's part of the reason why things like this are coming for you. And this is not the only time you're going to document, a growth spurt into a book. Sure, there'll be many more, but I think that this is an important milestone for you and for your audience, because I think people need it. I refer to that. I mean, it's a chapter or lesson, whatever you want to call it. But dude, one nugget that you get from somebody on this planet can change your whole trajectory. I think that
100%.
Lesson of just accepting who you are, what you stand for. And I was talking to my wife and even my mom about what a great deal I have to be the social media manager for this team. They're a hard money company, and I get to fly to their events and sing with my guitar and do their social media page.
Yeah.
Like, dude, 7 years ago, I would have killed for this gig. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta have this and that and the other thing. I'm like, dude, you're living the fucking dream right now. This is great.
But you're open to opportunity, right?
Right. And I think that often if it's not exactly how we saw it, it's not Warped Tour, sold out, this, that, the other thing. We coming up in the game, we thought that was success. But now I realize that I was steered away from that by higher powers, whatever you believe, because they said, hey, listen, you can impact more people in this room with these people.
Well,
and what a gift to go along with that calling. You know what I mean?
Yep. I want to change places here because I was in the sun and I saw how faded it was. I firmly believe in 2016, I got fired from, I was an executive level leader in corporate America, and I had a great, successful runway. I just rode the ladder, and it was awesome. Right. And then in 2015, I got fired for the first time, and then I got fired again from another job in 2016, and that was like the universe, God, life saying, done playing, that career is over. That time is done. We got bigger things to do.
New season.
We're not going to work with 100 people anymore. We're going to work with thousands. Let's go. And it's like that window shut so that something else could. Now it was scary for me. It was scary as fuck because it's all I ever knew.
Obviously.
But it's like life. Like I love this visual. When there's something better for you, life will throw a little pebble. It'll throw a rock. It'll throw a stone. It'll throw a brick. It'll throw a cinder block. It'll drop a boulder on your ass. It'll hit you with a bus. It'll hit you with a railroad. It's going to get your attention. When it's time for you to really step into your destiny and really step into something bigger and more meaningful, it's going to happen. And it can be easy, but if you don't take the easy path, you're going to have to take the painful path. You could avoid that if you just take the clues.
100%. And I think that that's where I think that the accountability and being a part of a group or a community is beneficial to anybody in the world. And I'm huge on, if you're gonna hire anyone to help you do anything, you need to help yourself understand what the expectation is for you first. I think so many people come to, and I've been on stage at a lot of events, and they come to the event and they think that just showing up at the event is magically going to make them successful because they went to the event. That's not how it works. You have to take what you learned from that session or whatever, and you have to put it into your life and your game plan, your inner world, and you have to implement it and execute on it every fucking day. And without somebody to hold you accountable or a community, that can be very difficult.
So inside, when we talk about our inner world, what I mean by that is what we believe, our thoughts, our emotions, right? That's our inner world. Actions are a result of your beliefs, your thoughts, and your emotions, right? Your programming and your conditioning, what's happening in here, how your body fires, how your thoughts fire, how your emotions fire, how you handle emotion, all of that's your inner world. Have you ever gone to a training, Pat, where there's an amazing trainer, like let's say our good friend Josh Wilson. Right. He's an amazing trainer. He's got Kyle Mallion. They've got great content.
Yeah, they're good.
It's proven, it's effective, it works, it's been repeated over and over.
Right.
The material is sound. But then you've got three kinds of people. You got somebody that uses it and crushes it. You got somebody that uses it and gets nowhere. And you got somebody who won't use it.
Number three is very frustrating to see, especially when they have a ton of talent.
But that's all a result of their beliefs, their thoughts, and their emotions. It's their inner world. It's their inner world. I put on seminars, I put on workshops, and I'll go in there and I'll have somebody that takes the teachings and they use them, and their life, it just accelerates. Yeah. But I'll have somebody saying that was all useless bullshit. It's because of how they're built. It's not the content. It's how they're built.
They can't even download it. They've already talked themselves out of it.
Are they capable of using it? It's the person behind the tactic. It's the person behind the strategy. It's not always the tactic or strategy. It's the person using it. Are they capable of using it successfully? And sometimes we blame it on the tactic or strategy when it's really the operator behind it that's completely inoperative.
And I think that's why an accountability system is really important for people. And if you struggle to hold yourself accountable for stuff, you got to join some group. I know a lot of wholesalers, they join groups. I know about a lot of business acquisition. Josh Wilson was trained by Kyle. And now he's funding deals to do his own thing, and it's all love. But those guys all seem to mingle together. You'll notice that the people who are getting things done kind of constantly run into each other over time, over and over and over again. Because, dude, those people mingle in similar circles, or were trained, or taught, or this or that, or trained with each other. Or you see some people from the same boxing team, and they're the best team, be people in the UFC. Or you see the best people that come from some golf trainer, and then they're the best golfers. It happens everywhere that the guys with elite coaches are the best players.
Yeah, and then I always feel blessed when I get a call from Pat Hilton in the morning,
I'll call Mike Kitko and friggin' rattle off. I'm the one who friggin' calls you. I'm like, dude, I need call it coach. It's coaching essentially.
But what I'm saying is 5 or 6 a.m. You've got two guys that are both awake, that are both in the zone, that are
who's awake right now. Yeah, I'm like
5 o'clock and 5 a.m. and we're freaking jamming, right? We're crushing it. So
I'm like, I'll fucking call Kitko. He's awake.
That's not by coincidence, right? That at 5 a.m. that two guys awake in the zone, driving forward, creating value in the world.
And I also think that it's one of those things. Like I said, I think that people like that were like magnets. So I think that anybody like me, I was talking about this with my wife the other day too. I'm like, most people are one side of the magnet. Like they either push stuff away or they connect to stuff. Like they're one or the other. They're like an introvert or an extrovert. I'm both. Like I attract the negative and the positive.
Well,
I'm
with enough
bold.
shadow work, we'll get that negative out of there, and you'll only
Well, I
attract the
think
positive.
I think that when you are doing something and you want to be elite and you're pushing and you're driving, you're gonna get negative responses from people.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean? It doesn't
absolutely.
matter. Those people are always going to. I mean, I type jabs on comment sections that are funny headlines still. I probably always
Yeah.
will, just because I'm being funny. But there's a lot of people who see somebody pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's just like bothers them. Why? It's like you said, it's because they're not doing the work.
Look, my cheerleaders, the people that love me, that they help my bank account. And the
Right.
people that don't, the haters, they help my algorithm. I love both of them. I love
That's
both of
good.
them. Just keep bringing it. You know,
Well,
whatever you
yeah.
want to bring it.
So we got the book coming, Inner World, Outer World, Mike Kitko, the next generation of Mike's writings. And as I said before, that shadow work it's a $1 billion business lesson, because having a $1 billion mindset is the only way that you're going to make millions. I think that people think if I think like this, then I can get here. It's like, no. You have to think here to just barely get to here.
Yeah.
Like, you have to completely outthink yourself, outwork yourself, outpush yourself to get certain results. And as you said, there's builders and there's creators in this world. They're freaking wired this way. They can't
Right.
change it. And anything that is noisy or that pulls them back or detracts them from their goals, that is doing a disservice to that person and to the entire world around them by holding them back from their potential. Why is
Yeah.
it so important for people to just get shit out of the way?
Yeah. I want to talk about here's a little bit of shadow work, and here's a little bit of reframing, inner world stuff in real life. One of our mutual acquaintances, I'm not going to throw a name out there, but one of our mutual acquaintances called me one time and said, "Man, I'm in a really freaking dark place. I just had a huge loss. There, it feels like the world's closing in on me. I'm getting ready to lose, a whole bunch of money, blah, blah, blah." And he started going down, this road, right? And he was just in a dark place. And I like to call it spiritual chiropractic. That's what I am. I'm a spiritual chiropractor. I'll get in your head and get in your body, and I'll rearrange some stuff, and you'll be different when you get off the phone. But I said, all right, I'm going to say some shit that's not going to feel really good, but it's going to be liberating. And he said, bring it. And I said, your wife and kids are going to die. Anything you build, at some point is going to perish. It's going to crumble.
Even if you're Walt Disney.
Your legacy is going to be forgotten. The money that you have right now will eventually be spent. Maybe your kids lose it, whatever. It doesn't matter. You will die. None of this fucking matters, man. If you're not having fun with it, none of it matters. Because one meteor into the earth, it all goes to shit, and none of it's for anything. And I said, you're taking life way too seriously. And when he had that realization, he said, Mike, that was like some liberating shit. And literally it gave him, he got off the phone and he pivoted, and he started crushing it from that simple pivot. It was just not taking life that seriously. Instead of gamifying life, instead of gamifying business, he was taking it as life or death. This isn't life or death. You're going to die. You're going to die, and so is everyone you love and everything you build. Don't take it too seriously. Go have fun with it and watch how fast it builds.
Yeah, I think that's a great turnaround, because like I told you, I mean, I sang in bar corners for 15 years. Nobody gave me a shot. All the big record deals that people had gotten, all those people, they're not making very much money with music, if they ever made very much at all. And now that I'm 42, I look back at what I wanted to be, and I realized that I had essentially become what I wanted to be: addicted, broke. A lot of the people that I grew up watching be successful were addicted, or they were dead, or they killed themselves, or whatever. It's very sad to say, but it's true. A lot of these lead singers and musicians and rock alternative guys that I grew up watching, they're not around anymore. And their talent will live forever. Their voices will live forever. But it's haunting to almost even listen to some of it now, because I associate it with the legacy of how that person went out. And I think that we get so freaking deep in our head that sometimes or people can get so deep in their heads that they take themselves out of the game instead of keeping themselves in the game. And I think that there's a line there for people. And again, I've seen the line before. I don't know that I've necessarily gotten super close to it, but that feeling of, man, I think there's a lot of people that feel this is maybe the world's better off without me. How do we help those people?
You said you read my first book, Imposter in Charge. I put the barrel of a gun in my mouth. I was done. I literally thought I was just a waste of space on this planet.
That's so sad, dude.
That was back in 2016. But that's what happens, Pat. All the things you just mentioned about these creatives who were addicts. It's not a coincidence that creatives have an addictive tendency. It's because they're using that creativity to destroy. You're always, as creatives, and there's people that are highly creative, and there's people that are less creative, but still, they're still creative. But there's people like me and you that are just really creative, and it's always coming. If we don't use it for good, we will kill ourselves. And it's not a coincidence that some of the most creative people on the planet, Robin Williams, they off themselves because they get eaten from the inside out because there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure to create, and they don't know how to constantly harness it for good, right? When instead of I'm feeling this urge, instead of going and grabbing a beer, go for a run and watch when you come back. You won't want that beer because you spent your energy in a creative way, right? Go get a lift. The same energy that's trying to get you to take a hit, to take a bong hit, is gonna help you with another rep, another set. It's energy. You get to expend it one way or the other. Build a business, build an agency, serve a client. Watch when you have some pressure, stress, or tension in your life. Pick up the fucking phone and help somebody, and watch your pressure go away. Watch how it just immediate. I was scrolling. I had a call with somebody one time, and it didn't go very well. And I was kind of like agitated. All right, I was kind of agitated, irritated, and this is a long time ago. And I was feeling some anger or whatever. And I opened up Facebook, and I was looking at a post that I made, and I saw one of my clients posted something that sounded a little weird, like they needed some support. So I called her, and I called her, and as I was talking through her with my problem or with her problem, I noticed that all my anger and all of the stuff that I was dealing with from that call that I got off of, it vanished. Because I took my energy and put it in service and in contribution and in some creative mechanism, and that eliminated any freaking angst that I was going through.
Wow.
Any pressure, tension, stress that we have, if we put it into use in a creative, inspired, uplifting way, that pressure goes away. But too often we want the pressure to go away, so we do something destructive to us. Crush some cake. Drink shit that doesn't serve us. Eat shit that doesn't serve us. Surf TV, shit that doesn't work, and it's all just distraction. Go help somebody and watch all your pressure go away. It'll go away immediately, I guarantee you.
And I think that taking that, it's also time too. I think that sometimes when you're feeling down, you start to associate less value to your time.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel the value inside you. So you don't think the time is worth anything. You just waste the time. And then more and more and more time passes. You keep thinking about this thing or whatever. I left you some funny message the other day talking about it. Like thinking about this or writing that because I had to write a whole bunch of lyrics for this record and I wanted this to be that. And I'm like, maybe I should change this one line to this one. Because if I say fuck, people are going to be pissed off. I say I'm fucking my wife in the middle of the song. But it's like, it's literally what every man looks forward to every single week from Monday through Friday in America. Yeah. And that's why it's funny. It's a comedy song, dude. Who cares if somebody doesn't like it? Nobody's ever heard it anyway. No one's even heard of you before.
Let's slow down.
You're worried about people actually hearing about you now?
Slow down. Let's pause here. Sing that line for us, Pat Hilton.
What, fucking my wife on a Friday night?
Sing it.
Fucking my wife on a Friday night. Oh, it's a great song. It's a great song.
And somebody was trying to encourage you to change the lyrics. And like, don't you change thing.
We were just kind of looking at it like this and that and the other thing. And then when I was literally reading that chapter I was in the sauna when you sent that to me. It was perfect timing. I'm reading through, and I kind of skimmed the book first and was like, well, what do I want to read first? I skipped to that first, then went back and read the whole. Well, I read the first part because I messaged you like right away about the line your wife said at the beginning, which was great. And then I skipped to that section and read some of it and was like, oh, and then I went and I read the whole thing to that all the way through. But, I remember reading that little piece and being like, dude. And then as I got off that to go start the book over, start the whole thing. I saw this clip of Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin comes on. I'm sitting in the sauna. All this happened in the sauna. And he says, dude, you never change your words. You never change a lick. You never change a line. The way that it goes is the way that it goes. That's the way you wrote it. He's like, and even if you look back, they coach you on the SAT or the ACT or whatever, the first answer that you thought that it was is usually the correct answer.
Right.
When you go back and you change it to all of the above, when you knew it was C, now you were wrong. It was the original one. I was like, oh, he's like, this is proven all over different measurements. You do not change how it goes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fucking shadow work, Rick Rubin.
Funny story about Rick Rubin is I had one of my clients recommended his book to me, and it's
He's
really good.
Really good.
Is really good. And you wouldn't, he's like a Zen master in this book, right? He goes total Zen. And I was reading the book. I was listening to it actually when I was running. I was like, holy shit. And I called my client. I said, do you know who this is?
Yeah.
Because he was like really starting to get into spirituality and stuff like that. My client was starting to get into spirituality. I said, do you know who this is? This guy produced Slayer.
Oh, everything. Beastie Boys.
This guy produced the Beastie Boys, Metallica. This guy has, he is not this Zen guy. He's like a metal rap guy, but he really is a Zen guy. And that's how he was so talented at the arts, because he could see things, hear things, feel things that nobody else could.
Yeah, he produced that System of a Down. He's able to really take different elements and combine them. Usually people would look at those elements and say, hey, these don't mix. These are different genres. These are different categories. These sing-songy doesn't fit with metal, or rap doesn't fix with metal, or punk rock and rap are opposites. It's like, no, they're not.
Yeah. Well,
and we were like, oh yeah, no, they're not.
big
but nobody knows it was the same guy that was kind of behind that energy.
Yeah. Big difference between Bob Rock and Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
Bob Rock gets in there and he's like, no, we're going to play this. And he actually plays, and he's influencing or controlling the music. Rick Rubin would walk into Metallica's studio and say, you guys are better than this. You can do better. And close the door and leave. He's like, I'm going to get the best out of you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to get the best out of you. I see that I often say, if you talk to the king, right? When you're talking to somebody, if you talk to the king version of them, they'll become the king version. If you talk to the child version of them, they will become the child. If you talk to the highest version of someone, they will become the highest version. If you talk to the lowest, they will become the lowest. And Rick Rubin would just walk in and say, you guys are better than this. Do better. Bring the full expression of yourself out. Click. Gone. Come back in a week later.
I think that the world, again, he runs around in very elite circles with extremely talented innovational thinkers. And I think that it can be very difficult for someone who's never been around energy like that to shift into that type of a frequency or that channel or whatever. How, again, as someone who is able to kind of push people towards that full stride, how do you awaken that in somebody? That can be very difficult. I can see people at events and I'm jumping around. There's 1,000 people in the room. I come off and people are like, oh my gosh, how do you have so much energy? And they're like 22.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're fucking 20 years younger than me. What the fuck do you mean? You should have way more energy than me.
I think a lot of people are just living from those shadows. That's it. They're playing small. They were conditioned small. They're programmed small for whatever reason. If if we're I've been on this kick lately about teaching about giving and receiving. The biggest lie we've ever been told is it's better to give than receive, right? It's a lie. It's a lie. If you've been taught that giving is better than receiving, then it's because the person who taught you that felt shameful for wanting or asking or receiving, and they taught you that from a place of shame. So as we sometimes in family lineages, it's two scared parents that want to be invisible teach their children to be scared and to stay invisible.
Right.
Like one of my longtime clients, teachers. He grew up in a family of teachers, and hey, keep your head below water or keep your head down. Don't be seen. Get a secure job. Teaching secure. Don't risk. Save your money. Blah blah blah. And he did that. And when he was 30, he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself, because he was an entrepreneur, and he was
holding his entire thing back.
He was stuffing all of this energy down, and his parents just taught him how to be them. And he was like, fuck this. He was a 10-year tenured teacher. He was tenured. Like 30 more years, he would have retired completely secure. The point being, he's like, I got more in me. And
I'm
now
not doing this.
Now he owns multiple territories, and he's crushing it in a business, in a franchise, and he's in 2 states, multimillionaire.
Wow.
But he was playing safe a couple of years ago, right? Just because that's what he was taught to do. And I think some people, they're just passing down their family lineage, staying in that smallness that their family taught them to play in.
I think that also people get comfortable. Like I got super comfortable, even in California, which is a really competitive market, being booked every night of the week.
Yeah.
And even though I was barely paying the rent and paying the bills with Megan, she was working full time as a preschool teacher in San Diego. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm way more booked than everybody else. So like, I guess I kicked everybody's ass. I guess I made it. I play every night of the week. Most people play 2 nights of the week. I play 7. But I'm like, okay, well, now how do I get better gigs?
Right.
I need to start working in better rooms. I need to get around more elite people. Or how can I ever possibly get past what level I'm at? And I think that so many people are just happy with staying at that level instead of becoming the next version that can get to the next level. And then you get to that next version, and you thought that was impossible until you do it. And then you're like, oh, there's like 60 other levels I can achieve too. Yeah. But it takes you admitting that you're not going to settle and tolerate anymore the activity that you're already at, which means you have to do more. I think that scares people. I got to do more.
Yeah. Well, you're wired. You're wired different, Pat. Okay. You're wired different. You were always wired to be successful. And I got some friends that do some social media posting. They're real estate investors, and they just posted a reel, and it was a discussion. It says, are you looking to be safe, or are you looking to be wealthy? And that was like, when I heard that, it was a very simple way of saying, are you just looking to like live until you die, or play small and play out of for security and safety until you die? Or are you looking trying to experience the very essence of life, all the experiences that life has to offer? Are you hungry? Are you looking to try to expand in the highest version of yourself? Or are you just playing in this box to try not to die until you take your last exhale? And I think there's a lot of people running around that are, we all have this primitive instinct. There's an amygdala in our heads, right? And it's called an amygdala. If you take 2 almonds and put them together and hold those, that's the size of the amygdala. And the amygdala is the mechanism that fires off fight, flight, or freeze response. And some people's whole lives and their whole body is being run by that amygdala. Where some of us, I'm a Marine vet. It's like, hey, when you're scared, run towards the gunfire, because that's the fastest way to eliminate the fear. Because fear turns to adrenaline.
Right.
Run towards the gunfire. Run into it. And as entrepreneurs, that's what we do.
Legends. God bless you for serving in the military too, by the way. I mean, you guys are fucking legends.
As far as entrepreneurs, that's what we do. The battle's over there. Let me run towards it. Yeah. I'm not going to run away. Where most people that are playing it safe, and what I was doing when I was a W-2, it's the war's over there. I'm going the other way, man. I don't want to
fight with people.
No, but as entrepreneurs,
avoid conflict, avoid discussion, avoid any kind of friction, anything like that.
And especially
That means
for
you're
me,
just avoiding results at
and
some
for
point.
me, back then, it was avoiding a dip in my income.
Mm.
As entrepreneurs, are you experienced in the entrepreneur journey that sometimes it goes up and sometimes it goes down?
Whoa, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know. I knew the answer. As entrepreneurs, that's what we do, right? We see it go
100%.
up, we see it come down. We see it go up, we see it come down. But
Yeah.
in my corporate career, I was just trying to avoid a gap in my income. That
Yeah.
was it. And it's like my body couldn't handle skipping a week of income. My body couldn't handle it. Here, sometimes you skip a week and more, and then the next week, your week after that, you 10x
Fucking
it.
balling.
It's just unpredictable. Can your body handle the unpredictability of the entrepreneurial journey? And when
Yeah.
I started my entrepreneurial journey, my closest friend, he said, Mike, the entrepreneurial journey is the most spiritually evolving journey you'll ever. You gotta do things you don't want to do. You gotta feel things you don't want to feel. You gotta say things you don't want to say. You gotta run into the chaos. There's nothing you can do to hide. There's no other shield. There's my dogs. There's no other shield for you to hide behind.
Nope.
They're going to hide behind your shield, but there's no shield for you to hide behind. You can't. It's eat what you kill, and if you don't kill, you don't eat.
Right.
And not everybody's ready for that entrepreneurial journey, but the Marine mindset really helped me in the entrepreneurial journey.
Oh yeah, and I think that's why you're so fierce about rooting for people that are going for it, because you do understand that you got to be a little bit of Han Solo crazy to fly into a fucking asteroid field and think you're going to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love and I have experienced a lot of clients that come in, they work with me, and they actually do better than me. And back in maybe year one, there was a little bit of envy, and now there's nothing but love. Like freaking,
Well, I
it's
think
just like
that as time goes on, and I've noticed this too, even with the music thing, like we were talking about, it's like your expectation of what you expect success to be like is different than what success really is for you.
Yeah.
And so, you look back and a lot of people say you shouldn't compare. Maybe you shouldn't, but I think that evaluating what works and what doesn't work is important. And when I look at a lot of people that were successful in certain categories that I'm still in, I'm like, wow, I mean, I'm a whole lot happier than a lot of these people really were. And so is that form of success great for some people? Yeah, but maybe it wasn't for me, because I'm wired like a lot of these people, and I don't think that would have ended very well for me, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. And for me, I mean, you and I have had enough discussions, man. For me, the journey is the destination, and I want to enjoy
100%.
every day, not just the outcome. I'm not outcome driven where when I get there, I'll be happy. No, I want to be happy today and tomorrow and the next day. And I want to enjoy every second of my life. And I'm going to try to find a way to enjoy every second and suck the marrow out of life. And for me, it's not putting this freaking illusionary, this illusionary finish line where I think I'll have arrived, because how many times have you seen, somebody have $10,000 in their bank account and they need $1 million. When they have $1 million, they just want 10 million, right? They just keep moving the goalpost. Not that we shouldn't grow, but we shouldn't put our happiness in a future destination.
No.
The happiness is now, and the enjoyment is now. It's in the action. It's in the moment. It's in the present moment. Money is awesome fuel. It's a horrible destination.
100%. Or fame.
It's a horrible destination.
Or fame.
Yeah.
You
Or
can't
fame,
control.
yeah.
You can't control other people's opinion of you, or your music, or your art, or your book, or your fucking dress, or your Instagram picture, dude. Come on, you cannot control that. That's the outer world. So let's talk about it here before the kids come banging through the door here from school in 15 or 20 minutes. Why is it so important for people to separate the inner world from the outer world? Because I think that outer world, again, maybe it even depends on how you look at this terms, but I felt like there was so much weight from the outer world for so long. Yeah. How do we deal with that? Everybody feels it. They just don't want to admit it. I feel it every fucking day. I got a whole team I got to pay. I got the kids I got to take care of. My wife I got to take care of. Me. There's all these people relying on me, and a lot of things from the outer world dictate whether we're going to win or not. We can't control them all, but the weight is always going to be there for everyone. How do you deal with it in the most healthy way possible.
The Pat of 10 years ago would not have been able to handle the pressure of the Pat now. The Pat that was playing guitar on the streets maybe could handle a little bit of pressure, but your shadow work, your personal development work, your personal growth, all the internal work that you've done has allowed you to become the Pat that can handle 10,000x more pressure than that Pat could ever handle. The inner world, the inner work that we do, the personal development, the deep, deep internal spiritual work allows us to handle and experience more in the external world. There's so many people that feel the pressure, tension, stress in here and are trying to resolve it with external circumstances. You feel money fear, so you try to go out and make money to solve the fear. Well, guess what? I'm on the phone call with the guy with $30 million who's getting ready to kill, not really get ready to kill, but metaphorically getting ready to frickin' off themselves.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Not really, because he thought that the money was going to take away that money fear. He thought that the money was going to take away his dissatisfaction. He thought that the money was going to make him feel successful or complete or whole. And that's inner work, baby. That's inner work. So when you get in there, when you have this pain, when you feel my favorite 4 words, there's 4 reasons that we create. Okay. 1 is insecurity, is fear of loss. 2 is inadequacy. We don't feel good enough. We feel like we got something to prove to ourselves or somebody else. Insignificance, and you said it earlier, like I'm just taking up space. I don't even matter. It's not that I'm inadequate. I'm just like non-essential. And then the only one that's like creation mode is inspiration. And if you build your business on insecurity, inadequacy, insignificance, then eventually as your business grows, so will those.
Ooh.
So will those. But if you build it, if you do the inner work to resolve these and you step into an inspired state, so you're not scared of loss, you're not driven by fear from fear of loss. You don't have anything to prove. I know who the fuck I am. I got nothing to prove. I'm doing this for me. You know you're significant. You know you're valuable. In inner world, outer world, I talk about you are freaking God walking around here in a meat suit. You are the most significant human being on the face of the planet, just like everybody else. Look, you're a miracle. There was a 1 in 400 trillion chance you were going to be born. You are a walking, talking, breathing fucking miracle. Act like it. Believe in yourself. You are a fucking miracle. The fact that you are like even alive is like, it's mind-blowing.
Science can't even explain it. They can't even break down the human being body and biology at all. They're close, but not close at all. There's so many pieces of life that they cannot describe where it came from.
You're a fucking walking, talking, breathing miracle. Act like it. Believe in yourself. And if most people, especially entrepreneurs that are living from insecurity, inadequacy, and insignificance, right? Their circumstances aren't going to rearrange those feelings and those thoughts and beliefs. That's their inner world. Wow. Those are just going to amplify. But when we live inspired, that's the inner work of clearing out all that damage. That's the shadow work. The reason you don't believe in yourself is because of a story. It's because of a belief in you. It's not real. The reason that you feel like you've got something to prove, it's a story. It's a belief. It's not real. The reason you feel scared of losing money or losing your wife or losing your house or losing your kids, it's a story in you. It's a belief. Resolve that shit. Don't change the world to try to get those to go away. Make them go away so you can step into inspiration so that you can build your business because you get to, not because you have to.
Yes.
If you build your business from insecurity, inadequacy, and significance, every day you're gonna wake up thinking you have to build your business. I gotta keep it together. I gotta prove something. I've gotta do this or I'm gonna lose everything. I gotta become somebody. You're gonna do it from a place of internal conflict. That's not, you can build your business that way. There's a lot of successful businesses built that way, but you don't have to. And that's what inner world, outer world is about. That's what inner world, outer world's about. It's about let's clear out all that damage so that when we create the life of our dreams, it's not from insecurity, inadequacy, and significance. We're inspired to wake up every day. We're excited to wake up every day. And we know we're a fucking blessing on this planet. We're not an insignificant character.
I love that.
One more thing before I toss it over. There are There's a teacher one time that said there are three kind of people walking this planet. No disrespect, but there are three kind of people. There's leading actors, there's supporting actors, and there's furniture on the set.
That's 100% true.
And the more we clear out the internal damage, the more we take that leading actor role.
Wow.
There's a reason that somebody steps on a fucking stage in front of a crowd and says, I got something that will change your life. It's because they dealt with some shit that most people haven't dealt with in terms of clearing out some shit. I love to say on a stage, and I wrote this in the book. I said, I used to think I was like just taking up space in the world. And now, to quote Terrell Owens, I love me some me.
Yeah. Well, hey, you should. I think that we're like being conditioned on the internet to like not like ourselves. You're not supposed to like think you're awesome, or you can't, you know, it's marketing, and it's how they play your emotions, and it's sales. We know this, but I think that a lot of people still get manipulated by that messaging, and it can have a negative effect on their mindset. I think what you said earlier is very important. Love you for you. And I mean, go out and win and cut the noise. I think that the more you focus on what you want and who you need to become to get what you want, the less time you have for anything else. And you'll find that as you start to work on that craft and build that craft and become so good at that craft, other people are going to be like, hey, I'll pay you if you do that for me.
Yeah. Or I'll pay you to teach me that.
Both. Yeah.
Both. There's a guy named Stuart Wilde, and he's dead. And he was a spiritual teacher, and he's got some great books. Like one of his books it's cheeky. He had these cheeky titles, and it says, "The trick to money is having some." I kind of love that concept.
It's true. Anyway, it helps.
It is. He said, "Look, the key to success is to raise your energy. And when you raise your energy, people are going to want to be around you. And when people want to be around you, bill them."
Yes, right? I love that. I love that. Awesome. And a lot of people will say, I'm an introvert, or, you know, this or that, or the other thing. I think that people can be a little more quiet, but I've had a lot of people message me and say, hey, I started making videos because I literally saw you for the last 2 years telling me to make videos every day, and I just haven't fucking done it. And I just got sick of not doing it. And then their videos are awesome. Like some of that's way more creative than the stuff I make. I stick the thing on the wall or the window of the car and drive around in the car. And it doesn't have to be complicated, but I think what we said earlier of letting yourself find your voice and speaking out into the world, whether you're typing it or you start a blog or a journal that no one even sees. Make a journal that nobody sees and post into that. But I think that there's something in everyone that if they don't let it out, they're going to go fucking crazy. And so many people feel trapped in their job, trapped in their bills, trapped by their parents, trapped by school, trapped by expectation of the world, trapped by, I'm supposed to be this as a man, or I'm supposed to be this as a woman. They're trapped.
Yeah. They're living in somebody else's fear box. That's it. They're living in somebody else's fear box. They haven't figured out what they're about yet. They're still living in this illusion that somebody else created and handed them and taught them. That's all. But look, I'm going to tack on to your creativity thing. Everybody's got something in them. I've got hundreds of hours of podcast video, and all I do is go down my basement studio. I turn on the lights, nothing fancy. I sit in front of my camera, and for 25 minutes I just jam and I just teach, and it's my podcast. And I just take that, throw it through a reel cutter and put it on the internet, and people get value from it.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, it doesn't take anything crazy. Now, could I be more creative? Probably. My wife says I'm kind of boring, but I could be more creative. But the point is
people are teaching you to buy boring businesses now.
Yeah.
It depends on how you look at it.
But we all have something to offer. I think that's 100%. Your point.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, dude, I love it. Everybody should be checking this out. What's the launch date? Give us the deets here. Give us the deets.
August 19th. We've got, if you're near the St. Louis area, we're having a launch party 3 to 6 p.m. at 830 Waterbury Falls Drive, O'Fallon, Missouri, 63368. reach out to me, DM me, connect with me, and I'll give you the address. But I'd love to get you there. Free. It's also my birthday. Just come have some appetizers, have some drinks, have some cake. Josh Wilson's flying up from New Orleans, my homeboy.
very good.
He'll be there. We got some people, bunch of speakers that contributed to the book. Yeah, come up jam with us. But it'll be available on Amazon. Right now it's available hard copy and a Kindle version. We'll get the Audible book out at some point in the near future. But this book was my first book, and Pat was right. My first book was good.
It was good. It's a great book.
It was good. This one is my soul on paper.
This is good shit.
You can literally feel me in this book, and it will change your life. When you focus on changing your inner world, your external world will naturally change itself, and you'll become the master of your external circumstances, no victim of them.
I absolutely 100% agree with it. I'm a fan. I read the book. I 100% endorse the book. Everybody should buy it. Buy a copy for your friend. Buy one for your wife. Like, dude, if you're a dude and you want your wife to be on board, then you got to bring her on board. You can't just go get ripped, go get jacked, drink your protein, count your calories, and be all anabolic and shit and not bring mom along for the ride. She's not going to get it. You got to work on this stuff together. I think this would be a great reason for you guys as couples out there to sit down, take a couple hours and go through this and find exactly where you connect and where you're disconnected. This could be great for people's relationships too.
There's a chapter called Spiritual Relationships. It's all about that. Your wife read the book, right?
She's read some of it, but she will read it when I give her a copy of it.
Yeah.
She's not a digital version. She's not a digital dork like I am.
I know you said she connected with it. So
she did.
When we see this stuff together and we talk about it and discuss it, our marriages improve because there's always a common denominator we can grab onto. But yeah, there's a chapter called Spiritual Relationships. Is your spouse isn't here to make you comfortable. Your spouse is here to help you grow.
100%.
Your spouse is the person that can trigger you the most to get you to make you see yourself in a bigger way, right? So
100%.
When I thought Angie's job was to keep me comfortable, I was just playing small, man. Now she kicks my ass. She's like, hey, it's fucking time. What are you doing? It's go time. You got more to give. You got more potential. And she doesn't do it for her benefit. She does it because she wants to see me at my highest version. And that, like, she's always in the front row when I'm speaking because she wants to see me be significant in this world.
She's great. And the thing I love about her the most is just that she knows that when you win, she wins. And so
absolutely,
it's difficult to be married to someone like, I mean, especially me, but you as well, because you're trying to go out and you're trying to help the world. You're trying to serve people. And so that takes a lot of time away from the spouse because you got to go out and you got to do what you got to do. And for someone to get in your corner, God, it's good. It's beautiful.
So I used to go to work in a corporate environment, and I hated my roles. I hated my responsibilities. But when I came home, when I came home, it was a combat zone, and I actually had more peace at work than I did in my home. And your home should be your bastion of peace.
Yep.
It should be where you go to recover and where you go to replenish. And back when we were, before 2016, my home was such a battlefield. As soon as I walked in, the bitching started. And now it's the exact opposite. Like, we bring each other peace. We are unified. We are allies. Her wins are my wins. My wins are her wins. Our losses, we share our losses together. We used to talk about divorce like 100 times a day. We haven't mentioned it in 8 years, right? It's like, this thing is amazing. When you have somebody standing next to you that believes in you more than you believe in yourself, you can't fucking lose. But I got this image in my head, man. All right, here's how I had a dream, and I've got this image in my head of the role that Angie plays in the world. And it's a canvas, and in the upper right-hand corner is the earth. And on the earth is a mushroom cloud and a tornado and wars and freaking earthquakes and all this shit.
The shit that happens in this world.
And then in the lower left-hand corner, there's Angie with this stern-ass look, and she's pointing towards the earth. And she's got this stern fucking look on her face. And and I'm between Angie and the earth, walking towards the earth, like with my shoulders slumped, because she's like, get the fuck out there. They need you.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out there. Like,
I like that.
But then you go out to war, and when you come home, she's the first person, your spouse is the first person to clean your bruises and to bandage you up. But then as soon as you're healed, they're like, get the fuck out there. You got work to do.
Right.
They need you. And that's the role of an amazing partner in this world.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And if you can be that for people out there in this world, ladies and gentlemen, go out and give somebody some love today. Like, there's so many people that you only see the outside, and deep down, man, they're hurting. I don't know. It could be financial. It could be spiritual. It could be mental. And it as hard as it can be, you know, because we're all in our own little world, show a little grace for people out there. I like what you said at Walmart. You can walk through Walmart and be super pissed off. You know, people are loud, or their kids are annoying. They're running through the aisles. They're knocking stuff over. And you got to just be like, hey,
forgive
I'm
them
not
anyway.
a perfect parent. I get
right.
it. And it's hard enough. Or babies crying on the plane. I always think to myself, man, sucks. What? Trying to feed the kid. I see you trying to feed the child. What are you going to do?
Yep.
And
Inner world, outer world will help you resolve all the judgment and bring you to a greater sense of peace, so that you can be a bigger influence in the good in this world.
I absolutely love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Kitko in the house. Order the new book, Inner World, Outer World by Mike Kitko, and we will have information on how you can get that as it is published as well on Amazon. Mike, thank you so much for your time today, good sir.
Thanks, brother.
And ladies and gentlemen, go out there and get it done. We'll see you
Thanks, Pat.
on the next one.
Love y'all.